What is up, everyone? Player One Gaming here. I'm making this late at night, and I'm very late to doing this, but I already made my Big Ten football Week 1 analysis video. I didn't really go in depth on the Michigan game because I wanted to save it for a separate video. Now, Michigan played Middle Tennessee State on Saturday and got the win. It was kind of ugly in a way, but I'm going to go through the positives and negatives on all sides of the ball. Things that I saw that were good, and things that I saw that were ugly and that I didn't like. But let's start out with the positives and start with the offense. All right. So first off, I'm seeing the offense is already faster, and we've just scratched the surface with this offense. We're airing it out more, which is good. We had a couple of big touchdown passes. That reminds me of Ohio State. And it looked really good. Tariq Black had a touchdown pass. Nico Collins had a touchdown pass. If we could just get Donovan Peoples-Jones back, and we can get our two of our best offensive linemen back. The freshman guys look good, but I would like to have our veterans back at some point. And the same thing with Donovan Peoples-Jones. He's a huge part of our offense. I would like him to be back on the field at some point as well, but you never know. Another positive, Shea Patterson looked really good passing the ball. It says here he went 17 for 29, 203 yards and 3 touchdowns. Looked really good passing. There was some problems on offense, which I'll get to. But in terms of passing, he did pretty well. What else? Running the ball. Zach Charbonnet. I really like Zach Charbonnet. We've also got True Wilson, and I can't remember his name. Gosh, I'm so bad at this. I'm sorry. But we have Zach Charbonnet, who I'm really high on now. I think he's going to do great things. He's going to be. I don't know about a Karan Higdon good, but I'm hopeful for him. What he can do, he can make noise on the Michigan running game this year. And he's only a freshman, so that's good. He's got plenty of time to improve, and he wasn't originally going to start. True Wilson was, but he did good enough in practices to get up on the depth chart, which is really good. So I'm glad we have him. Wide receiver group again looked really good. Sean McKeon, he was in there a little bit. He dropped some passes. That was another thing. We had some dropped passes. But that's a negative, so we're going to not go on that yet. Defense. In terms of defense, if you look at team stats, they held Middle Tennessee to 67 yards rushing, which is pretty good. For the most part, the defense looked good. Outside of that first possession Middle Tennessee State had, where their quarterback ran for a touchdown just out of nowhere. Outside of that, they looked really good, and that final touchdown Middle Tennessee State had as well also looked pretty bad, but those are things that'll probably get cleaned up at some point. What is his name? Vincent Gray, number 31. Love this guy. He made a lot of noise. He's a freshman, I believe he's a freshman. And I'm excited for him because he looked really, really good. And of course, we had our usual players from last year who are returning and are looking even better than last year. So, in terms of defense, we've got some things we got to clean up. But for the most part, we looked really good on defense. Now on to the negatives. One, Patterson had a problem fumbling the ball. In fact, we had a problem fumbling the ball this entire game. We had 4 fumbles, 3 of which were on Patterson.
and one of them he was able to recover. But very first play of the game, Patterson fumbles, picked up by Middle Tennessee, allowed them to score. Middle Tennessee scored 14 of their 21 points off of fumbles deep in Michigan territory, and they didn't need to go very far to make a score. And Middle Tennessee could move the ball. O'Hara, their Middle Tennessee quarterback, was really good. He's hard to tackle. He can run, and it seems to be another problem that Michigan's defense has. But fumbles were a big problem. Turnovers were a big problem. I don't know how you fumble it 4 times. Luckily, we were able to recover it on a couple of them. But on the 2 out of the 4. But Patterson dropped it on the first play of the game when we were on offense, and let Middle Tennessee get the ball deep in our territory, score early, and then we had I think it was Ambry Thomas, our kick returner or punt returner. I don't remember. Maybe it was Ambry Thomas. I don't remember who it was. It was Ronnie Bell. I think it was Ronnie Bell that returned that punt and dropped it. That was ugly. Seriously, I don't. I mean, it's probably hard. I get it, but seriously, that you can't be doing that. Can't be dropping balls like that. And he dropped the ball, and Middle Tennessee State got it back deep in Michigan territory again. Allowed them to score 14 points pretty quickly. Not quickly. They didn't have their 14th. They didn't have their second touchdown till later. But yeah. So fumbles, big problem, needs to be cleaned up. This game should have been 40-7. It should have been 47-7. Seriously, it should have. There were some weird gimmick plays that we were doing. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand some of these gimmick plays, like that 2-point conversion off of when we scored and we were up 33-14, I believe it was. Yes, 33-14, and we're going to go for 2 to try and make it 35. And I don't know what the play was. It was like a handoff pitch kind of thing, like a fake something. I don't know. They didn't know. I don't think they knew what they were doing. They looked so confused during a lot of this game. And also, we had a delay of game penalty that I saw from a mile away because they just were taking forever to get set. Which was just poor coaching. I don't know how you let that happen. Defensively, wasn't a whole lot of negatives defensively for Michigan. Other than, of course, some of those plays where we missed the tackles, or we allowed a receiver to catch, or the quarterback run. Defensively, we looked pretty good. Offensively, a lot of problems that need to be cleaned up, and I'm pretty sure will develop throughout the rest of the season. But who's the MVP of this game? I really don't know. You could say Vincent Gray, number 31. He looked really good on defense. You could say, I don't want to say Patterson, because he did have 3 touchdown passes and he looked really well. He didn't throw a pick or anything, but he fumbled. He fumbled a lot, and he cost us 14 points. And that last touchdown Middle Tennessee State got was a fluke anyway. We had our backups in, and we were up 40-14, and it just kind of happened. It was weird. I didn't really think anything of it. It does bother me because they have that 20 on there. I don't like when Michigan plays lower classification schools, I don't really like seeing them get more than 14 points. It bothers me. But what are you going to do? But, yeah. I can't tell you who would be MVP. On offense, the wide receivers, probably. Tariq Black, really good. Nico Collins, we know how good he is. If we can just get Donovan Peoples-Jones back, that will be a very hard wide receiver group to stop, because all three of those guys are incredibly talented and really good at what they do. But Michigan's got Army next week, so we'll see how that game goes. And yeah, based off of how Army played, they only won 14-7 against Rice. There's literally no excuse for why we should have a close game with Army. And we've been practicing our defense for them for months. So there's literally no reason why we should allow the Army to score more than 14 points. There's no reason. I mean, they could only score 14 points against Rice. If they only score 14 against Rice, there shouldn't be any reason why they score more than 14 against Michigan, especially with the defense that looks as good as they did against Middle Tennessee State, minus a few mistakes. There's no reason why we should lose. But then we go right on a bye week, and then we play Wisconsin, which I don't know how I feel about Wisconsin. I said that they're the most impressive Big Ten team this week. That they look scary, but we'll see what happens next, man. I'm not even sure who they play next. All right, so Wisconsin plays Central Michigan. That should be an easy win for Wisconsin there. And then I'm not sure if they have a bye week, but they play Michigan soon after that. So, yeah, that's the video, guys. Let me know how you feel about Michigan so far. Are you just gonna say that it's early season mistakes, that they're gonna be cleaned up, we're gonna look a lot better going later into the season, or you think these problems are gonna